Everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing part 3 of ranking all the Fortnite seasons. So the last two parts I got up to chapter 3 season 2, which means I'm going to start with this video with chapter 3 season 3. So to make my job easier here, I've kind of been all over the place in the last two videos. To make my job easier, I'm only going to be ranking off of 3 things. So these 3 things define how good the season is. And as you can see, I already put the season in B tier. So I'm going to be ranking the map, the battle pass, and the loot pool. So I'm going to start with the battle pass. I thought this battle pass was actually pretty bad. There was a lot of skins that just felt thrown in there and like really random. For example, Snap, he was just a random like action figure that you could take apart and put like different heads on him. And I'm pretty sure that they just added that skin to have something customizable in the battle pass. But yeah, it just felt really out of place. There was also Darth Vader and Indiana Jones for some reason. I'm just kidding. I actually know why they were in the battle pass. It's because Donald Mustard wanted these 2 characters in the game before he retired, so they got added. But that still doesn't mean that they could have just put them in the shop or something, because yeah, they felt like really out of place in the battle pass. So yeah, they definitely should have just added them as an item shop skin, but whatever. The loot pool had actually a couple good guns and items. There was the Hammer AR, which is one of my favorite ARs ever. It's really accurate. The fire rate's good. The mag size is good. Damage is good. It's overall a really like all around good AR. The DMR is also a pretty underrated gun, as it was basically, it had the exact same features as the Hammer AR. The hammer was good. Oh my god, bro, the stuttering is crazy. The accuracy was good, the damage was good, and the magazine size was good, just like the Hammer AR. So I do think the DMR was an underrated gun, just like the Grapple Glove, which was basically a rip-off Spider-Man web shooter, but it was still a really good mobility item that not a lot of people talk about for some reason. But yeah, the Grapple Glove was a pretty good way to get around. It was basically just a nerf Spider-Man web shooter. It only had 30 shots instead of 60, but I still like the Grapple Glove a lot, and yeah, it was a great way to get around. So the loot pool definitely had a couple good items and weapons. So yeah, there was also the map, which I liked a lot. The new biome, which was a Reality Falls biome, that was like the only new POI. Basically, this was a giant POI with a tree in the middle, like a huge tree. And I actually really like landing here because, one, the height on there is really good. Like, that was probably at the time one of the highest places in the map. And there was also like 3 chests that spawn up there. So yeah, I really liked landing up there. Don't get me wrong, trying to actually walk up there took forever because you would have to go all the way up like a spiral staircase. But if you landed up there, looted up, you would have a high ground advantage against everyone else in the POI. It was also just really cool, especially at far away to look at. It was like really vibrant, and that's basically how I could describe this entire new biome. It was really vibrant and colorful. So yeah, the only thing I didn't really like was the battle pass, but the loot pool definitely had a couple good items, and the map, I added a nice shake to the Battle Royale map because, yeah, in Chapter 3 Season 2, there wasn't really, like, that much going on, to be honest. It was still the same 3 biomes as the season before, just with IO bases and stuff added. Moving on, the last season of Chapter 3 is Chapter 3 Season 4. And if you remember last video, I made this tier down here, and I told you'll figure out what it's for later on. And this is what it's for. I did not like anything about this season. The first thing I want to talk about is the map, because that was probably my least favorite part about the season. You basically had no clue what POI you were in, because it all looked the same. It was all the same color. It just looked like a can of Coke, except you took off all the color and stuff on it. It was just shiny like aluminum color. And yeah, that was basically like 45% of the map. Definitely a horrible map change. I guarantee you that if you remove the mini map from the corner of your screen and you took a picture of one of the POIs in Chapter 3, Season 4, you would have no clue which POI it is because they all looked exactly the same. The Battle Pass didn't really have that many good skins in my opinion. The only good skin I can name off the top of my head is Spider-Gwen, and the only reason I remember she exists is because she's one of the 3 main characters in the thumbnail thingy, I guess you could call it, the season. I'm showing it on screen right now. So yeah, that's the only reason I even know she exists. I also know that there was like the bear skin that had a hole in its stomach, and there was like another bear controlling it, and that one was cool, but even that one had like a really big hitbox, and it wasn't even worth using. So the map was bad, the battle pass was bad and really forgettable, and the loophole too was also pretty bad. There was the triple burst AR, which was really nothing special. It was basically just a burst AR, but with 3 bursts instead of 2. The only thing it was really good for was beaming builds, like taking down walls. But even then, people would only like rock the mythic one to take down walls, because it was really the only one that was great at taking down walls like that. It was not a good weapon for actually damaging people. I think it did like 22 damage a bullet, mythic rarity. So yeah, definitely not a great gun, nothing special. And then there was the Evo Chrome shotgun. I did not like the Evo Chrome shotgun. The crosshair was really weird. The damage wasn't that great, not that I remember. It did have like a faster fire rate than most shotguns, but yeah, that doesn't save it. It was just a really, again, boring weapon. There was nothing really special they did with the loophole here, except for, you could do damage to upgrade your gun's rarity, but we've seen that with before back in Chapter 2 with the crafting system, where you could like kill enemies to make your guns better. You could kill like zombies to get Q parts, and you could upgrade your weapon's rarity. So yeah, overall this was not a very oh crap, I forgot how to pronounce it. This word. The season wasn't very this word. I don't know how to pronounce it. I stutter every time I try, so I'm not even gonna think about it. And even the stuff that was somewhat unique, like the Howler Claws and the Goo Gun, was brokenly overpowered, and the Howler Claws sucked. Unless you did a certain glitch with them, but that doesn't count. So yeah, this season was really bad. There's nothing really special about it. The map was really boring. Basically, every POI looked the exact same. The Battle Pass only had like 2 memorable skins in it, which is Spider-Gwen and that bear guy that I mentioned earlier that had a big hitbox. This skin, which was a pretty cool thought, but yeah, the skin is huge and really easy to see. There is a handful of people that really love this season for some reason, but like, even Cypher PK, who literally got his icon skin in this season, we could all still agree that this season sucked. Chapter 4, Season 1. To be honest with you, for the start of a new chapter, like an entirely new beginning for the game, this season was kind of a letdown. So the Battle Pass had like 1 memorable skin, which was the Ageless Champion. I thought this was one of the best tier 100 skins of all time, but other than that, the Battle Pass was kind of mid. I do know that there's a skin called the Dusty, which everyone seems to love. Personally, I think it's a pretty decent skin, but not the most memorable skin of all time. So yeah, the only good skin that I could think of at the top of my head is the Ageless Champion. And the next thing I want to talk about is the loot pool. I To be honest with you, there's two weapons that I could think of off the top of my head, and honestly, these probably carried the season. I also know there was augments, which augments definitely also carried the season, but the loot pool, the thing that carried the season the most is the Excalibur, which did absolutely insane damage if you could hit your shots. I'm pretty sure it could one tap at somebody anyways. If not, it did like 160, 70 damage, and then it would blow up. So if you hit somebody in the head, they were basically dead with the mythic one. So yeah, there was that one, and then there was the shockwave hammer. These two items were really fun and honestly carried the season. So the loot pool, in my opinion, wasn't that bad because of these two weapons alone. And lastly, there is the map. There was actually a couple good POIs in the season. Not even gonna lie, there was a couple good POIs. There was the what's that page called? The Citadel, which was a really cool POI, but then it just got left for the rest of the chapter until chapter 4, season 4. They finally changed it. But yeah, after the boss left this POI, it was just kind of there, just taking up a huge chunk of the map for 3 seasons. So yeah, it was cool when it first released, but then it just kind of took up space in the map. But I said that the season has a good map, so I'm going to tell you about good POIs. That one was good when it released. There was also Slappy Shores. There was Brutal Bastion. Faulty Splits, I remember a lot of people liking. And then there was also Anvil Square, which was pretty cool because there was a whole POI based off Attack on Titan, and it actually was like a first teaser for the Attack on Titan actually coming to the game next season. So the loot pool was good, the map was good, the battle pass was just okay in my opinion. Overall, for a new chapter, this was a huge letdown, but admittedly, it wasn't as much of a huge letdown as Chapter 2, Season 1. But in my opinion, all the other new chapter starts, like beginnings, the first seasons, all started better than Chapter 4. If we're not including Chapter 2, Season 1, Chapter 1, Season 1 launched better than Chapter 4, Season 1 did. Chapter 3, Season 1 launched better. And Chapter 5, Season 1 launched better, in my opinion. All the new chapter starts were better than Chapter 4, Season 1, and that's why it's in B tier. And the last season is Chapter 4, Season 2. This season was so good for competitive. I remember it being really good for competitive. There was Kinetic Blade, one of the best mobility items of all time. There was a glitch where you could turn off your Wi-Fi and it would make you invincible, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, the Kinetic Blade, really good movement item in my opinion, on par, maybe even better with the Shockwave Hammer. Heavy snipers were also added back, which they weren't as broken as they always used to be, but they were still really good. The overclocked pulse rifle that you would get was also really good. That I'm remembering, it was really good. If you hit fire it, it was really broken, and if you aim it, you could get some really precise and high damage shots. So yeah, it could be used as an SMG and your average AR, and I really like that. Definitely a lot better than the Chapter 2 Season 7 pulse rifle. I don't know why they decided to bring it back, but hey, it made one of the best items of all time, so there it is. But those weapons that I just mentioned aren't the main reason why the season was so good for competitive. There was one weapon that stuck out. The best shotgun in the game, no question. The Havoc shotgun. As somebody who doesn't really do well with shotguns, like the only shotgun that I could use is, attack or a ranger shotgun. It has to be either really accurate or really easy to hit shots, because I can't really hit shots with a pump like that. The Havoc shotgun is the best shotgun in the game. There's no question about it. With the mythic one, you were hitting 250 to the head, and I'm sorry, but last time I checked, when it was re-added in OG, the pump only did 209 damage. This gun was so broken, so accurate. The Havoc pump is the best shotgun in the game, no question. More overpowered than the drum shotgun. Fight me. I'm just kidding. Please don't fight me. I'll probably lose. But yeah, I really like the Havoc shotgun. Now let's talk about the map. The map added like a Tokyo kind of biome where they added Mega City, and Mega City is one of my favorite POIs of all time. I would land here a lot. It was just really cool. You could jump off buildings with no consequence because of the grind rails. You could drive around in motorcycles. It was really bright and fun. I really liked Mega City. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Battle Pass, which unlike the last two seasons, was actually pretty good. And I still can't believe Renzo the Destroyer was a tier 1 skin. So yeah, I just really gave a really undetailed version of the season, but here's how I can put it in short. Loot Pool is great, especially the Havoc Shotgun and Kinetic Blade. The map was also fantastic, and Mega City is one of the most fun POIs of all time. Again, you could just jump off buildings, no consequences. You could grind rail across the whole POI. It was really fun to have fights on grind rails. That was like really cool. And the Battle Pass had some really good skins and one of my favorite tier 1 skins of all time. So yeah, that's it for this video. That's going to be the last season that I'm ranking this video. Obviously next video I'm going to do more. So yeah, this is probably going to be a 4-part series. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.